So these are the cons of being a player. One of the biggest things that's holding back a lot of young people out there and is actually destroying our community. Let's get into it.
Who 101 the cons to being a player? I got you. The first con is like you're never ever going to have a good relationship. Never going to have a good relationship, like because you've done, you sleep with other people, girls, you fuck other people, women. So you're seeing how women act, especially if they got a boyfriend, how sneaky they are, and how oblivious a lot of these dudes are to this shit. And you're like, damn, you don't know you out here fucking off, getting fucked. No, he has no clue. You will never be able to trust anyone. You will never be able to have a good relationship unless you like really change your ways and like really just give all this player shit up. You will never have a good one. You will assume. You always try to find a lie in the truth. You know what I'm saying? Every time they're telling the truth, you'll try to find a lie in it. You know what I'm saying? Like you will always be paranoid. You'll always be worried about if your bitch fucking off. Oh, she hasn't been talking to me for an hour. I wonder if she's sucking dick. Da da da. Shit like that. That will never leave your mind. Like being a dude that be like a player, having all these hoes, having all that shit. It seemed cool until you want to settle down and get into a relationship. It seemed cool because you done seen hoes do some crazy shit and they be in relationships and you're like, damn, I wonder if I'm gonna get my karma back. And you will. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and be like, no, it's never gonna. You will get that back. Being a foul motherfucker and fucking other people's women, you will get that back.
And I hope you do get it back. I hope you do get it back because a lot of those bad people tend to be around each other. They tend to attract each other. Now, what he's saying there that really got my brain tingling was the fact that it changes the way these guys that are the so-called players see relationships. So the possibility of them even getting into a good relationship is a lot lower because they've only dealt with the bad apples, because the women that are with guys that are players are usually the bad apples, and they're in that environment so much that takes a lot of mental strain, bro. Let's be freaking honest, right? That takes a lot of mental strain. And this is the problem with the Andrew Tate-esque kind of character. These are the people that say controversial shit on the internet, and a lot of people tend to aspire to or subscribe to, and that's the problem with this current algorithmic culture that we live in, right? If you say anything out of the ordinary, if you can really exploit the algorithms, you can influence so many freaking people, and that can do a world of harm to a lot. Like Andrew Tate, for example, exploited a lot of young men because of this current weirdness in our society where young men and young women in general aren't close anymore, right? We have a lot of things that we do online. We don't pursue relationships like we used to. That leads to a lot of loneliness, and people need other people to tell them how to go and start these relationships. That's where these gurus like Andrew Tate come in and really exploit that space. So now you have a lot of men that are so-called now players. And like this guy just said, there's a lot of negative downsides with that. It actually adds to the problem of the current relationships that we have in the United States. Let's be honest, right? If you are listening to Andrew Tate to get away from toxic women, you will eventually create more toxic women because you're going to be toxic, and that is inherently going to make you more toxic, right? I don't know if that makes sense, because say you're right here, for example, and you take the Andrew Tate course or the red pill guru course and become an alpha red pill male, you feel me? You become that, and now you're going through the girls like crazy, boom, 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 right? That's gonna have its own trauma with it. Like this guy said, you're gonna look at women in a horrible light, and that's inherently gonna make those women that you deal with look at men in a horrible light, and it's just gonna create this culture of complete toxicity with everybody. It's gonna make everybody hate each other, further fueling the thing that Andrew Tate and the other gurus are talking about. It gives them shit to talk about and make money off of you. Now, another part of this that I want to talk about is how that actually lowers your overall potential as a person. There's a reason why someone like me, for example, right? I see value in relationships. I don't know. That's just how I see it. I'm a very I think I'm logical, and that is kind of how I go about my life. That's how I do things in my natural state. I'm always looking at, okay, this plus this should equal this. That can hinder me, but it can also help me. And the way it helped me is in terms of investment. Every time, every minute, second you spend on this earth is an investment, and where you put that towards really like impact who you become and the kind of life that you live, who you help. Like it really is important to know where you're putting your time. So if you are this so-called player, right, like this guy is talking about in the video, you tend to put your time into a lot of things that have no impact on your life. You tend to put your time into chasing a lot of women that you shouldn't be chasing, and that inherently, literally, has a negative impact on your growth as a man, because now you're becoming more toxic. You're hating women more, and you're seeing women as this bad thing because you were dealing with a lot of bad apples, right? So just off the jump, it ruins your mentality. But also, it's taking away time that you can be putting into things that are, say, more beneficial for you, right? This is the other thing that people talk about, right? The difference between like guys who are so-called players that are not athletes, or not lucky enough to just have $1 billion sitting right there, or be trust fund babies. Guys who are that really struggle, say in their 30s and shit like that, to to have any sort of impact on the world. Because once you hit 30, once you start to grow up, it's not about how you look. It's not about all those things. It's about how competent you are as a man. And being a player can kind of take you away from that and focus you towards something that really doesn't make you competent at all. It actually hurts your overall performance in this world that we live in, right? If you can maximize your time, have build something, use your time to build things. For your family, build things for the people around you, build things for the people that look up to you. That is a lot. That's a better investment, I think, than being this so-called player, because it has its positives, but it has its negatives that we just listened to, right? So if you can take that time and really value it and not go and chase this dates or weird shit, and you're able to, if you're lucky enough to find someone that can help build that with you for a certain amount of time, you can actually see your actual improvement. I think that is such a cool part of being a human being that people don't talk about, bro. The game part. Like, I'm a gamer for life. Everything I do is kind of like a game, right? If you can, you see yourself improving, or you see the people around you improving. Like, I love that, right? You get to see yourself learn to be a better person. You see how the relationship that you are able to stick in and build actually impacts you outside of the relationship. How it makes you look at work and things a little different. How it adds that sense of responsibility, that sense of, I don't know, man. There's something about it. There's a positive side of it. Obviously, there are negatives, but you gotta really decide that for you. You can't just go the one route, which is what is sold on the internet, without learning the other side. And I think this video will serve to, I guess, give you the other side, right? Like the other side, that which is the positives of not being the so-called player and going more so the route of using your time very wisely and being able to build things with a significant other instead of building nothing with a lot of nothings.